just going to welcome back on stage for a few minutes Roger Marshall. Mate, we'll just have a quick chat, last chat of the day. I know it's nearly home time.
Everybody's gone home.
I know. We had a good chat earlier, obviously, about most of your, not most of it, but parts of your career going through. Tell me, he was a pub landlord.
Yeah, from us in Steve, yeah, I thought it was a good idea at one time to maybe go that direction, but it didn't work out, so, you know, drank all the profits.
And was that while you're still riding, or was that after you retired and packed it?
No, afterwards I thought maybe there was something in it, but it just didn't work out.
Obviously, you know, a fantastic career from 1970 through to 88. Why did you stop?
To be honest, I didn't want to stop. I worked my way up to be a factory rider, and then obviously as a factory rider from 81 to 87, did Milwaukee, Suzuki, 4 years with Honda, and then back to Suzuki 87 on the Skoal Bandit. And in 86, probably had one of my best years, and Honda, due to bike sales and how the economy was, at Brands Hatch, the last meeting, there was always BSB. They said, yeah, we'll get a deal done in winter, so Roger Burnett and I went home from there, and then on Monday morning we were called down to Chiswick where the headquarters were, and we went down there in our Rothmans on the cars, and we came back on the train. Honda closed the workshops, pulled the plug, none of the mechanics knew, it was just closed down just like that. And then luckily I joined Suzuki to do the World Formula 1 Championship with Paul Idden and VSB, etc. And I won both Formula 1 and the Super 1 Championship that year. And Rex White and Suzuki said I could go off to Australia to do the Swan Series, which was all paid for by the organisers over there. So we went there, I signed her a letter of intent to get to do 88, came back from there, and Rex White met us at the airport 2 years before Christmas Eve, and said I'm sorry about this, and he gave me and Nigel Everett, my mechanic, an envelope, and that was it. Suzuki pulled out of racing as well, so in 2 years English racing lost Honda and Suzuki, two major manufacturers, and basically I didn't want to go back to building my own team, running as a privateer, getting it all organised. So John Surtees rang me up, asked me to meet Bob Graves, who owned the Quantel Cosworth, and to do races on that, which were basically twin races. We did try it in Superbike. It was capable of just inside the top 10, but it was too heavy, it was hard work. But we won Daytona, the first meeting on it, the first Brit since Aylwood, I think, to win Daytona, and then we won Assen and Spa and a couple of teammates. I didn't have a teammate on the Cosworth. And then at the end of that year, because the guy had achieved his ambition to win on this Cosworth, he tried with Paul Lewis and other people. He said that's it, he wanted to go on to his next project. And then so I was left high and dry again, and thought maybe something was telling us to pack up at that time. So, but I was still riding at the very highest level, and if I'd have managed to keep riding for a factory, I would have carried on, because age is important, but it just depends how much you still want to. Same for you, really. I mean, you would have still been racing, I'm sure, if you hadn't got injured.
Yeah, I probably would have still been doing something. I'm not really sure what, but you know, it was getting to that time where I was starting to think about maybe not doing as much, because I was always busy doing the British Championship, the World Endurance, and all the roads. It takes up nearly all your time anyway, you know.
Yeah.
So life after, obviously that's when you knocked it on the head, decided to pack in. Life after racing, we mentioned earlier, team management.
Yeah, the first time I dipped my toe in it, Stuart of Med Racing rang me and said he was thinking about a superbike team and would I become his team coordinator. So I met him and he had some lovely premises that we converted to workshops out near York. And he asked me what bikes we thought, and I said, well, Honda are bringing a new bike out, the RC45. They normally never fail to bring a good bike out, and unfortunately we went down the RC45 road, and it was the wrong way to go. It was a difficult bike early in its career, and I'm sure it was still difficult when Colin Edwards and Aaron Sly were riding it with full factory, and it never really worked out. But I was with him 2 years, and we had riders like James Hayden, Jim Moody, Rutter, Stringer. We did have a winning BSB at Snetterton, and that was the only time we really tasted success, apart from Robert Dunlop won both races for us at the Northwest and went with TT with high hopes, but unfortunately that nearly ended Robert's career in '94 with the back wheel breaking and just after the lap. So that was the first time back, and then I went out of it for a while, and then Ben Atkins contacted me. I think Kawasaki, the team Matt Llewellyn and Steve Islop were riding for, went out about 3 races into the season, 4 maybe, I can't remember what the team was called, and Ben still had JR's bike and the late Dave Jeffries bike from World Superbike, and me and Chris Anderson basically run the team just to put Islop out. And first meeting at Mallory split Jamie Whittam and Neil Mackenzie up, and had a really good finish to the year. And then Ben Atkins decided to go on to Ducatis and run a 2-man team, and I ran his team for 5 years up to, and finished with him in 2000, and he ran 1 more year with Bozzy as team manager, and then packed up. But yeah, and then since then obviously gone back into BSB as a judicial steward.
So with the, or what was the Red Bull Ducati team of Ben Atkins, was that pretty much John Reynolds for the full stint in those 5 years?
Yeah, JR was there the full stint. We had Islop, we had, the year the bike was really difficult we had Izzy. And that was the year Foggy had a bad year. It was a difficult Ducati that year. So Izzy left us, and we had Ian Simpson, we had James Hayden, who nearly won the championship on it. He was really good on it. So we had Sean Emmett. Sean was an absolute nightmare, as he always is, but probably the most talented rider I've ever worked with. Red Bull come on board in a small way and ended up being our major sponsor. And Keith Flint of Prodigy was a friend of the team, and I schooled him at Mallory Park for a while and got him up to speed, and he started doing club racing, and you know, we had a good time at Red Bull, yeah.
And as Ben Atkins now has nothing to do with the racing scene, are you still in contact with him?
Yeah, started to see Ben quite a lot just in the last 2 years. He started coming back to racing. Obviously, he packed up Ben, and then obviously with Craig Jones incident, because his daughter was going out with Craig, and that knocked the family for 6, I think. But they started to come back and watch racing again. So. You never know, he might form a team, he might step back in.
And he's also involved in the Northwest 100, obviously he was there as a competitor, winning 3 times. He was there with an influence over the newcomers for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, I think I must have nearly done 10 years as briefing the newcomers. And,
I think he briefed me the first time I was there.
Yeah, so... and then obviously I always had my car there, so if anybody wanted any individual tuition, I used to do that with the car, or stop and talk the track, as you do, and you know, so put a bit back into the sport as well as helping lots of riders as well.
I remember you giving us a briefing saying you come down towards the Metropole, so a real long straight before before the chicane was there, after McAvoy. And he said, keep going down there, and as you come to a crossroads, that's a nice early braking marker, just brake there, you'll be fine. And you're coming down the straight for the first time, and you're coming between, obviously, garden walls, and you can't see anything, it's just things that are flicking past your eyes. And I was getting towards what I thought was in, and I thought, flipping heck, I missed the braking marker, so I shut off and braked, and then throttle back on for a little bit, and then shut off again. It's one of those places that just takes a little bit of getting used to, but certainly without that, you need an awful lot of help your first time there.
I think even when you're experienced there and you're going back there every year, the first night was a shock to the system for anybody, and I'm sure when you were winning there, that first time you go down them straights, it's like flipping heck, it takes your eyes a bit to get adjusted, done it at 200 mile an hour.
Yeah, I think my fastest ever true speed there through the speed trap was 203 points something. You know, and obviously visually it takes some keeping up with when you're flicking past trees, and that's when you're on your own in practice, not obviously with six abreast in a race situation on a Saturday. But a fantastic event, and it's a place that's really kind of close to my heart. We also obviously mentioned earlier about helping various riders out. Joe Francis, obviously you helped him out, not this year, 2013, to the helped him out, started from in 12, yeah, and helped him on his journey to win the Motorstar Championship. What's his route forward from now on? Will you be involved in him, or is he going to pastures new?
Well, I was asked to work with him in 2 years ago, so 2012, by one of the timekeepers at BSB who took an interest in him and sponsored him, and he won Super Teams in 2011. And I said, well, I'll meet him at Brands Hatch on the Thursday, but you know what it's like, he's a 14-year-old lad. You know how cocky it can be nowadays. Am I gonna get on with him? So I said, I'll meet him on the Thursday, walk the track, see how we get on. And we clicked straight away, and he's gone and won the championship this year. I introduced him to my old teammate Roger Burnett, who's took 1 or 2 riders on to win world championships, and at the beginning of last year, and he's followed his career, and we've had meetings through the year, and we're hoping we can either go on to do the Spanish championship or even Moto 3. So Roger's working hard trying to raise the cash, and be a fantastic opportunity for a 15 coming 16-year-old lad.
Perfect. And obviously, as far as you're concerned now, you're doing back in Waltham. What about riding these days? Do you ever throw your leg over a bike on any classics or anything like Goodwood, or is there anywhere you get the bit between your teeth and blow away the cobwebs?
Not now, Steve. About 10 years ago, I was come back from a TT to do one of those parades at Mallory, and it was me, Aslam, and Dave Aldana, and Springs, a few Americans, and you know, we met in the hotel the night before, and yeah, we'll make it look good. And I think we're all on Triumphs, and probably a bit more than 10 years ago, but said, yeah, we'll do 54-second, 55-second laps, and you know, we'll work out who's going to win. And yeah, it was all sounding great. I think the third lap of the race we were doing high 52s, and the lap record was 52 something like that. And stupid me was who had road freight. I was going round Gerrard's every lap, and the thing was sliding, and I was losing the front, and I was saying to myself in my helmet, for God's sake, slow down. And I couldn't. And I led into the hairpin on the last lap, overshot, and finished third. And I thought, no more parades for me. But
I was at Spa last year, 13, doing the Spa Classic, riding an ex-Kevin Swadd's 500 and Ioki, one of the Roberts Juniors. Anyway, cut long story short, Christian Sauron was there, Wayne Gardner was there, various people. And that instantly turned into, I'd never been there, you know, so I kind of sat behind Gardner, and who was towing, Sauron was towing him around and didn't do, and my bike was quite a bit faster than theirs in the straight lines. You come out of Eau Rouge down the big long straight, and I sat behind, and I thought, I shut off, and I thought, no I won't. I thought, yeah I will. I went past Aaron, I'm not giving you, within 3 corners he come past with his elbows out and he proper meant it. He really did. But that's what parading.
Yeah, that's
No
what,
such thing.
yeah, that's what riders are like. And you know, I've had both my hips replaced 2 years ago, and I don't think Emma wants me to go through that again, do you? So I don't want to fall off either. So I'll keep to mentoring and poacher turned gamekeeper on the judicial steward job.
So we're not going to see you out like, for instance, Mick Grant now. I think Mick's what, 67?
He must, yeah.
And he won Goodwood. He won those.
And as Witt said in that last interview when you were at that classic at the Manx,
Yep.
it still looks just the same when you were interviewing him, and he does, doesn't he? Yeah. And I think he still goes quick.
Oh mate, still very fast, you know. At Goodwood, at the revival last year, 13. He won that as well, you know, with Gary Johnson. And rides very, very hard. He really does. Doesn't know when to say no. Okay, mate. Well, thanks very much. It's getting late in the day, so we'll let you get off home. If anybody's got any questions or would like anything signing by Roger or myself, come and see us quickly, grab a photo. Thanks for listening, and a safe journey home.
Yeah, thank you.